Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you're ready to talk about a little bit deeper about some Florida Everglade animals. Now, yesterday we kind of introduced the Everglades and we talked about what are the Everglades. I want you to take a minute to reflect on what we did yesterday and think about this question. What is the Florida Everglades? Did you think about it a little bit from our talk yesterday? Great job. The Florida Everglades is a special place that can be found in southern Florida. That's where we live. And it's a watery place full of wonder. The Everglades has a river system, which is a type of body of water. Sometimes we have oceans and lakes and ponds. And in this case, the Everglades is a river. Now, a special part of the Florida Everglades is that it is a very special home to lots of different kinds of plants and animals. In the Everglades, we can find a lot of animals, and that means we find diversity, which is all different kinds. Yesterday, you guys learned that there were different kinds of animals that live on water and land. Today, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into some of the animals that can be found in the Everglades, and you are going to compare and contrast two Florida Everglades animals using a Venn diagram graphic organizer. Let's go ahead and get started. Ooh, these are our American alligator and the American crocodile. American alligators are very powerful, and they usually can grow between 6 and 9 feet. Sometimes they get bigger. These are cold-blooded animals that can live in the water and on land. That's how special they are. The American crocodiles are much more rare, which means we don't see them as much as we see the alligators. They're more shy. They also, if you look at their noses, that's where you can see the biggest difference. The American alligator, he's got a big, wide nose and mouth. The crocodile, he's kind of skinny nose and mouth. That's where we can see most of the difference between these two. Let's move on to our snakes. We've got the red rat snake and the eastern indigo snake. So we have a red snake and a black snake. Quickly, you can observe that they are obviously different colors. Let's read a little bit deeper to see other differences and maybe something that's the same. The red rat snake is beautifully patterned. He does have a pattern on his body. It's kind of striped and diamonds of different colors. The eastern indigo snake, he is all one color. He is a solid color. But he does have scales, and so does the rat snake. They're both endangered species, which means there are not a lot of them left on this planet, and that they are protected by the law. Now, sometimes snakes live in water, but these two snakes, they live on land. So if you're hiking in the Everglades, be careful not to step on one. Oh, we have two birds here. We've got the purple gallinoo, and I bet you can point to which one that one must be. And then we have the spoonbill. This is probably one of my favorite Everglade animals because he is so cool looking. I love his pink feathers, and he has the funniest shaped bill I've ever seen on a bird. Now, spoonbills are large. If you've ever seen one, it is very big. They like to wade in the water, kind of like a flamingo does. And they have that spoon-shaped bill, which is where their name comes from. The purple gallinule has a purple body. We can see that. And the wings look almost black and green. Their legs are much shorter than the spoonbill. And they have a red beak with a yellow tip. That's kind of an interesting feature too. They both have funny looking beaks in their own special ways. Let's look at two more birds. These are very, very large birds. The wood stork and the Anhinga. Now, obviously they're different colors. The wood stork is white and the Anhinga is dark black. And he's got little bits of white in his feathers. They both fly with their long necks stretched straight out. So when you see them flying, they're going to look like a long line. And the Anhinga is also known as a water turkey. That's funny. I did not know that. The Anhinga is also an excellent swimmer. He must eat a lot of fish. Both of them catch fish with their sharp bills by swimming underwater. So they both are very great swimmers. Now, even though they can swim in the water, they don't live in water. Birds live on land. Let's check out our next animals. Ooh, we have the Florida panther and the white-tailed deer. Now, one is a panther, like a cat, and one is a deer. Obviously, they're different in that way. I wonder how they're the same. The panther has brown tan fur. So does the deer, and in that way their furs are the same color. I also know about these two animals that they are both very shy. Can you spot one really obvious way that these two animals are different? The deer has antlers. That's right. These horns that come out of the deer's head, those are antlers right there. Sometimes they use them for sparring and bucking and fighting each other. Another difference is that the deer, although he has a tail, it's not as long as the panther's long cat-like tail. Let's move on to our nocturnal friends. Both of these animals, the possum and the raccoon, are quite furry and fuzzy. They are both nocturnal. The possum has a very strong tail, and it holds its young babies in a pouch, just like a kangaroo. The raccoons are a little bit darker in color, and they kind of have a mask on their face. It looks like they're wearing two black masks over their eyes. You can also tell a raccoon because it has a striped tail. It has rings that go all the way down its fluffy, fuzzy tail. Ooh, the otter and the manatee. These are water animals. They both live in the water. They're both very good swimmers, and they can both be quite playful. The manatees are graceful, and they float around quite calmly, and it's very soothing and peaceful to watch them swim. Otters are a little more playful and wild. They get crazy, and they swim fast, and they like to play with lots of toys. Raise your hand if you have been to the Moat Marine Aquarium and seen both of these animals. It's one of my favorite things to do. Okay, these two are going to be our last animals that we're going to look at. We've got the zebra long-winged butterfly and the Gulf freccia. The zebra butterfly looks like it has zebra stripes. The other butterfly is more spotted with orange, black, and white. Both of these butterflies live in the Everglades, and they love flowers. They're definitely contrasting in their colors. Those are all the animals we're going to look at today. Your activity is going to be posted on your next slide. You're going to compare and contrast two animals, any two that you want. The two do not have to be on the same slide. You can pick any two animals that we've talked about in the whole PowerPoint to compare and contrast. And you're going to put some things how they're the same and some things how they're different. And we'll talk about your Venn diagram on the next slide. I can't wait to see your work.